Today, two normal home cooks are trying to decipher the difference between fresh and frozen ingredients whilst blindfolded, just using all their other senses at play.
To the people of the UK, we have done.
You've been done.
You're welcome. We've done our jobs.
The first one is in front of you, boys. A and B, you're both sharing A, and then you're both sharing B.
We've got chopsticks.
Yeah. Oh no, we've got chopsticks.
What am I chopsticking? It doesn't feel like I'm grabbing much.
Last time we did this, people didn't like you all putting your fingers in stuff, so I'll give you chopsticks.
Are the chopsticks appropriate?
It's not rice, is it? This is...
It's a rice. It's a...
What flavour are you getting?
I'm getting...
seafood.
Paella.
You can punch me in the face. It's really depthy, earthy, perhaps like base flavours of like tomato.
Do you want a fork?
It's a bit...
Could be.
The clues are there. I gave you chopsticks because it's a stir-fried prawn rice dish.
Okay.
We'll move on to B and see what differences you can sense. For you guys at home, both dishes have been prepared exactly the same in terms of the weights and measures of all the flavourings and ingredients, but they have been prepared according to packet instructions.
Barry, you didn't do any guiding.
Are we looking at the prawns or the rice?
You're looking at the rice.
Rice, okay.
Frozen rice.
Oh yeah.
Is a packet of ambient rice, think pouch, and one of these is a packet of frozen rice.
Why would you freeze rice? What? Store-bought frozen rice?
Frozen rice.
Ready to microwave.
What?
On A, it is soaked up so much more of the flavour. It's more risotto or paella-like. With B, where the rice has been thrown in, warmed through, and coated in the flavour.
You can taste the individual grains. There's a bit of a bite to B, but I don't hate A.
Right, remember the game? All you need to do is scribble on your board which one you think is frozen. Right, you've both locked in what you think is the frozen. Take your blindfolds off, have a look. You're not allowed to change your minds, but now you can see them, would you?
Ooh, I'd actually say in looks, these look plumper and softer.
B, you can taste the rice, whereas A, I think all I can taste is the flavours in and around that.
Yeah.
Perhaps because almost like there's less bite through the rice itself and it almost just, you chew it and then whoosh, it just blends into all the other flavours.
All valid points, but what on earth have you scribbled? Turn your boards in 3, 2, 1.
A.
You've both gone for A as the frozen option.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I can reveal that in this round, the frozen rice is A.
Good. So you're not stupid.
So the frozen version is Sainsbury's microwavable white rice. It's sold as 4 200-gram bags, so basically individual portion once it's cooked. Whereas the fresh version is the white long grain rice pouch. Again, it's still white long grain rice. It does include a little bit of oil in the ingredients to stop the grains from sticking together. Otherwise, pretty much the same. Just different processing, different storage, and a different price.
I'm a little bit confused by this one, because I always go, frozen foods, they're frozen to give it a longer shelf life, and therefore can be really convenient to like pop into a dish. These are already really convenient.
They're almost too convenient.
They're shelf stable. You can put them in the store cupboard. They last a long time. This is cheaper to look after than this.
All very good points. Usually, when we're talking about the advantages of frozen food, it's individual portion, it reduces food waste. But against the ambient pre-cooked pouch, bearing in mind we could have just gone to fresh dried rice, which is very different in cooking or whatever, but against the pouch, also convenient, also minimising waste. And what you get in the fresh is more of that fragrance retained. So you said you tasted more rice. I think that's absolutely correct. In the freezing process, you can sometimes break down the structure of the rice and it can be more mushy. So all the things you identified are because of the processing.
But I didn't hate it. I actually felt within the context of this dish, I think it gave the feeling that it did soak in more of those flavours and led us to different rice dishes because of the consistency of the rice, not because of the flavours we were tasting.
The fresh pouch rice is £2.40 per kilo. So that is about twice the price of buying just the raw grains and boiling it yourself. What do you reckon the price of the frozen?
I think that should be closer to the value of fresh rice. In fact, let's meet halfway between fresh rice and this.
Yeah, I was going to say just knock £1 off per kilo, 140 a kilo.
Yeah.
Add £1.20. The frozen rice is more expensive at £3.63 per kilo.
Interesting. That's really surprising, and therefore, for me, not worth it.
Not at all.
Which is why we left it in, because technology moves on. When I started in pub kitchens age 16, there were bags of perfectly portioned, frozen individual grains of microwavable rice, and that would go on all of the dishes that needed the rice. Moving forward, the pouches have been introduced and have kind of shot to fame, and in terms of the scale means the price does come down. All things to consider, but in fresh versus frozen, you got it spot on, both of you. Let's move on to round 2.
Nice start.
Same rules apply, A and B. The key ingredient on both plates. One of them is fresh, one of them is frozen.
Okay.
I've got a plate here.
Hey again.
Oh,
Hello,
hello.
Guide me.
Hi, honey.
I go straight in. I think I know that is the smell straight away.
Is it like nothing? No.
No, I think that's a scallop.
It's cold.
Scallop?
Oh, what are they?
Why did it be cold?
Caviar. No.
What? No, what?
It's funny how the mind plays tricks.
Incredible.
Lentils.
No.
Yep, lovely plate of lentils,
And
delicious
lentils.
puree.
and
But the bit you're missing, you need to stab around for a bit more.
I got a scallop and it was wonderful.
We are indeed looking at scallops.
This will be interesting. Ready, stab. 3, 2, 1. Did you get one?
No.
I got one. Yeah. Right.
Okay,
Be
okay.
good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, this one's bigger.
I've never seen someone try and put 2 scallops in their mouth in one go.
I had 2.
Like all the other rounds, prepared identically. So
Oh, no.
defrosted, patted dry, and then cooked in a searingly hot pan.
That one is also good. I feel like B had a raw centre in that it felt more fleshy. A had more texture, like it'd been cooked through further.
But the ideal scallop, you're looking for something that's sweet in both aroma and flavour. It shouldn't be fishy, but it should be of the sea, if that kind of makes sense.
There's only one slight defining factor, that one of them is sweeter than the other.
Scribble something down, A or B. Remember, we want you to find the frozen. Play along at home, because you've only seen them. You can't get the texture. In the last round, we spoke about the fact that technology has moved on, that the rice isn't as popular in that sort of frozen version and format now. But what has also moved on is freezing quality and the ability to do IQF, individually quick frozen, and you can actually really speedily freeze things to a really good quality. Scallop is a prime example, but can you tell the difference between fresh and frozen? You've both scribbled down an answer. You can now take off your blindfolds. There's not much to look at, if I'm honest, so it's a bit of a pointless exercise. What have you written down? 3, 2, 1, find the frozen.
Hey.
You both think A. What was it that drew you towards that one?
I'd say it was firmer, and the texture of the scallop was the same from top to bottom.
Yeah, I felt it was plumper. I felt like B was slightly sweeter.
Boys, I can reveal that in round 2, the frozen option was also A.
Yes!
Correct, well done. Let me tell you what you've got. So the frozen ones are Waitrose raw Canadian scallops. They come in at about 18 grams a scallop. We know that because we weighed a lot and then took an average. 10 in a pack. They are dredged on trawlers in the northwest Atlantic and then taken into Canada, which is why they are Canadian.
Dredged.
Not a very good practice, dragging basically a rake, huge rake across the seabed to pull up all the scallops. In doing so, damage a lot of the seabed, damage a lot of diversity down there, actually break up a lot of the shells, which is why they're not sold in shell, they're sold as scallops. We should stress though, Waitrose say they are sustainably sourced following Sustainable Seafood Coalition guidelines. The question is whether the guidelines are as good as they could be. Whereas B were fresh hand-dived scallops from Bethnal Green fish that we use a lot from Scotland. So they're not being trawled. Instead, literally a human is going down to dive and pick up perfect scallops. They were 25 grams each once they'd been prepped to get rid of the roe and all the other bits. But again, that scallop meat, as an identical comparison, 25 grams, so slightly bigger. The Waitrose raw Canadian scallops, you buy them as a bag of 10, but it's £42.50 a kilo. So let's do it by kilo so we got the comparison.
Okay, that's 42.
Or 80 pence a scallop.
Oh, wow.
Here we go. Here we go.
Whereas the Bethnal Green fish ones are £130 a kilo once prepped, or £3.25 a scallop. So big jump.
Massive jump.
Almost 3 times the price. And for visual reference, that's what they look like. So the Waitrose raw frozen ones, and then one defrosted. But if you give the defrosted one a squeeze compared to the fresh one, which has been prepared and the roe cut away, you can feel a real difference in texture.
Bounce.
That one's so much more solid. And that one is squidgy.
And the colour, you can see it just looks so much fresher.
Is this one? Is there one inside that?
Yeah. And like mussels or clams, they're still alive until the point you cook them, basically.
We can put those back in the freezer, mate.
Great. Let's move on to round 3.
Oh my gosh, I can smell something great.
2 delicious bowls of food in front of you, A and B, off you go.
I can smell butter.
I can smell bacon.
Bacon.
What are you eating?
I got carried away.
He just went straight into B. Like literally, same rules apply.
Sorry, just the smell of mushroom and calling me.
I want to know how this dish was made.
It's kind of pancetta, mushroom, cream.
Is it like a oh no, not a carbonara.
It's
not a carbonara.
It delivers on similar mouthfeel. It is creamy, but it is not a carbonara.
Creamy mushroom pasta.
Not in a long
It's
shot. It's a
unbelievable.
pancetta mushroom creamy pasta.
What are we looking at? What was frozen? Come on, mushrooms?
It's got to be mushrooms, right?
Correct. One of those has used fresh mushrooms, one of those has used frozen mushrooms.
This is a nightmare. It's just a lucky dip. I think the mushrooms from one of the dishes taste so much sweeter.
Yeah, I adore mushrooms. I absolutely can't get enough of them. And I'm happy to say as well that I don't need super posh mushrooms. Sometimes the cheap button ones hit the same spot as a big old portobello.
They definitely hit a spot. I met a fun guy in California. Name was Chris from Mighty Cap, and he grows loads of mushrooms and lots of different types. And they're phenomenal. It was almost like space-age mushrooms growing in, not even in soil. They tasted incredible, and all the top restaurants were using them. But there's absolutely a place for just, as we would call them, bog standard button mushrooms. Right, stop eating, Mike. Jot something down. What are you thinking?
Hardest one yet.
You've both locked in an answer?
Yep.
Take off your blindfold, have a look. There is a visual difference on this one. And you don't even need to see the mushrooms to see the visual difference.
The pasta's darker in this one.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's not because of the pasta.
Wow, that is a massive difference.
I've got it wrong.
Now you've seen it, you're not allowed to change your mind, but let's see what you wrote down. Reveal your boards in 3, 2, 1.
A.
A and B. You've split opinion on this. Why, Mike, did you go for A?
I felt they were ever so slightly plumper. I thought I could taste almost charring on B, which was where I was thinking it was sweeter. It's actually the caramelisation.
Baz, what was your thinking?
I think the pancetta threw me because I think that was giving it a lot more smokiness to the dish. I didn't pick up on the crispy edges of the mushroom. They are standout different now to those ones. But at the same time, it's doing a blooming good job. This one doesn't look as good at all.
Great job.
But I still both as enjoyable.
And the frozen option is A. Mike, correct?
Triple A's.
Triple A.
He's playing the game there, he's throwing us.
Yep, they're frozen.
Cooking-wise, you say these are cooked the exact same way. If you had more time and you cooked these down, do you think you could get the same crispy edges as these?
You could probably get similar. What happens when you freeze them is you break some of the cell walls, you get more moisture out, so they are wetter when they cook, whereas the dry ones, you get a nice colour on them. They were sticking to the bottom of the pan, giving that sauce a lot more depth and colour and flavour, which then went through the pasta. So that's what makes it a deeper colour. I would say though, the frozen sliced mushrooms are great for long, slow wet cooks, like stews and soups and broths and even risottos and things like that. And we should say both of these are from Tesco. So they are just Tesco sliced mushrooms. The fresh are £5.40 a kilo, or £1.35 a pack. And the frozen ones, £2.50 per kilo, so less than half the price. The final advantage worth mentioning here that didn't really apply in the last two, portion control and therefore food waste. If you've got fresh mushrooms in your fridge and you haven't planned and
point.
shopped appropriately, you get to the end of the week and they're slimy and you're not happy to eat them, they're going in the bin. The frozen mushrooms, you just take out handfuls as and when you need them. Nothing gets wasted. Mike takes the lead with 3 points to 2 as we go into the final round. Okie dokie, last one. A and B, same rules apply.
Oh, we've got chips. Chunky chips.
Oh, I am
Classic.
interested. I reckon I got it already.
We're in the zone here, mate. This is where we're more qualified than he is. And these have been oven roasted.
These are oven chips.
Are you locked in?
1,000,000%.
Wow.
Oi, dips. There's one in the middle if you want it. It's like a ranch
nice.
dip.
Oh. There is a massive difference. One is the inside of the chip is a lot fluffier, lighter, and has more moisture in it as well. This one here is a much better experience.
One of them's a little bit dry in the outside and the inside. The other one is crisp on the outside and then super fluffy and potatoey on the inside. Interesting, like flavour-wise, they're
Yeah, that's what I mean.
pretty similar, but texture-wise, they are in a different stratosphere from one another.
Stratosphere is a bold.
So which is the frozen? That's what I need you to identify. Find the frozen, lock in A or B.
You wouldn't do that though. You wouldn't do that for the game.
Why? Of course he would.
Somewhat. I think it's a really interesting conversation to play. So far we've discussed how certain products evolve through era with microwavable frozen rice for freezer versus pouch. We've discussed the importance of sourcing with scallops, hand dye versus dredge. Then it was more about application. Where are you putting those mushrooms? And are therefore fresh or frozen your better option? What are we talking about now? You've both now scribbled something down, take your blindfolds off. Can you tell any difference?
Oh no. They are the exact same chip. They are the exact
Like all the rest?
same chip.
You wait till you see the inside of this.
Oh wow, different gameplay. This has so much more real estate inside
Would
of
we
it.
say stratosphere? Because I'm thinking stratosphere.
Boys, I asked you to find the frozen. What did you scribble down? 3, 2, 1.
A. Poor gameplay, Evans.
Well, there you go. Was it a bluff? Was it a double bluff? Or was it a triple bluff? In this final round, I can reveal that the frozen oven chips were B. You were both wrong.
What?
Let me tell you why this consumer shopping advice is useful.
They are the M&S ones.
What is bizarre is that they are both M&S Gastropub triple cooked chips. They are both 87% potato, followed by beef dripping
This is
and
really
vegetable
good.
oil.
This is really
They
good.
are, we think, identical products. However, they have then taken the frozen potatoes and defrosted them and put them in a smarter box.
No!
That smarter box reads on the back they have been previously frozen, so at some point they were exactly the same as the other product.
Ooh.
As a fresh product, the bag would cause them to go mushy and break up and go all floury, so they need more protective boxing, and you give them a much more premium, fresh look. I don't think personally they were as good.
No!
No, nowhere near as good.
The frozen was so fluffy.
So why is it? Like Mike pointed out in these, the potatoes almost come away from the skin of the wall. It's like they've shrunk back a little
And
bit.
they shriveled
They've
a bit.
been frozen, and then they've been defrosted, and then they've been kept in a bag and in a fridge for quite some time while you
lose their
get them to
freshness.
while they get them to the store, while you guys decide to buy them, while you take them home. It might be another day or two before you cook them.
Well, that makes sense. And when we both read that and went, that is a frozen potato.
Because of the association
Yeah.
with frozen equals less good.
But then you try this one and go, oh, that also tastes like a frozen potato, but that is a lot better, so that must be the fresh one.
Should we talk price? The frozen M&S Gastropub triple cooked chips are £4.80 per kilo. You
Okay.
can obviously buy cheaper oven
Yeah.
chips, but £4.80 per kilo.
So what is a bag? 600 grams, okay.
The fresh, £8.90 per kilo.
Right, we This video is a
£4
service
more.
to the people of the UK. We have
You've been done.
You're welcome. We've done our jobs.
That's it. It's amazing, especially from M&S, because their standards are really high with like ready meals.
I think broadly.
And so are the standards of the shoppers who presume that fresh box in that box is going to be a more premium and they will want the more premium.
Interesting.
Will they go to the freezer aisle to pick up chips, or is that something for a different class of person?
I get
and it's
this.
not as good.
If we're wrong, come out. Tell us. But like, that's
either
surprising.
way, what we're doing is saying this is a much better product.
Yeah, it's a great product.
And it's also a lot cheaper. So, regardless of what that used to be.
Yeah, it's good.
Interesting find.
Well done.
We tricked you and fooled you both. However,
did.
Mike did still win with 3 points to 2. Congratulations, Mike.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Comment down below, is this kind of, shopping advice, fresh versus frozen, useful? A lot of it plays into the kitchen and how we prepare our food too. Comment down below.